You know, after years of doing this, I thought at this point I would have a better, more professional studio space. But honestly, I just really like sitting on the floor, so I'm gonna keep doing that. But without further ado, let's grow. On today's agenda, we have some blooming onions from Japan, some lavender, as well as some lemon balm. So on top of planting seeds, we're also going to be doing a transplant. And then, to finish it off, we are going to go over a new fertilizer, which is having a campaign right now. If you have a Home Depot in your area, I would strongly recommend going there. But we'll get to that as well. So let's begin with the planting of seeds. Welcome back to the world of dirt. Nothing here but dirt, and this sad little garlic sprout, but we'll get to that in a second. So what I've just done is I have gone through and I've made custom soil types in each individual pot. I shouldn't say each one is a little bit different. So for these two, these are a mix of peat moss and sand. It's going to be a bit more of an airy mix. There's also a little bit of the perlite in there, which you can see for the white specks. This is going to be very airy. I'm hoping that it's going to be very, that it's going to drain faster than if it was just like peat moss or peat moss and sphagnum moss or vermiculite, things like that. So that's these two. These two is a 3-to-1 ratio, so more peat moss and sand. So 3 parts peat moss to 1 part sand, a little mix of perlite thrown in there. I think that's just the peat moss mix. And then this one is mostly peat moss with just a pinch, like the top layer was sand and I kind of mixed it in there just to see if that would do anything. Now the hope is that I can see what growing condition each plant likes the best, and then I can also monitor how often it's being watered. But for this first part, since I'm just sprouting the seeds and I'm only having it in these 6, I still have the rest of these pots to go. And that is where I am actually coming back to you guys. So what happened with the old seeds, and I had quite a few, is that nothing sprouted. I planted everything back in at the end of January so I could prep for the February release of Let's Grow. However, that didn't turn out to be the case because nothing grew. Nothing was even left in the pot, now that I think about it, because I just dug through everything, sorted through, and basically nothing happened. There were a lot of empty seeds, a lot of hollow seeds, which makes me think that, a bug or something came through and just ate them. So I'm a little disappointed about that. So what I am going to ask is kind of what I asked in the last video. If you have anything you would like to see me grow, please let me know down in the comments or send me a message. And if you could also provide a site that you think is trustable. The seeds that I got previously, I got them all off of a Etsy shop. Got them all from the same shop, I believe. And I came up with a 0% success rate. And I planted close to, I want to say about 50 seeds. And nothing happened. The plants that I did try to go through are the Camellia sinensis, which is another word for tea. I tried to do the Prunus seriolata, which is the Japanese flowering cherry tree. Let's see. I tried for a different types of succulents. I tried to grow rose seeds, bamboo seeds, and a daikon radish, and there was something else. And that actually might be it. But planted 50 seeds, nothing showed up. Like I said, digging through, nothing was left, so I'm really concerned. And I'm also just a little heartbroken, which is why I haven't come around to actually making the first episode really until now. Long story short, nothing I had grew, and so now I am starting over, and I would still really like suggestions for what you guys would like to see, as well as good access to it, good sites, things like that. Now that I have these 6 pots started, though, what I'm going to do is I have a heating mat underneath, and that's going to provide just a little bit of a better growing condition for these seeds, and I'm also covering it. This is going to keep in the relative keep in moisture, keeping the humidity up, and then also making it so I don't have to worry about watering as often. Because one thing I've noticed about these airier mixtures is that they dry out extremely quickly. And especially where I'm at right now, for some reason, none of these plants are really holding their moisture. And by these plants, let's go off to what I'm growing right now. Okay, so these are the plants that I have growing at this very moment. So on this shelf, I have a pothos. I have the Japanese blooming onions, which I showed the seed pack for, and then I have this little panda guy. To be honest, I have no idea what kind of plant this is. I just know I saw it at the farmer's market, I like the pot, and that's the story. For those that remember or have seen the first Let's Grow intro, what I want to do for all the plants that I grow is raise them to maturity, hopefully collect seeds off of them, and then send them out to you guys, the viewers, just as a way to say thank you and give back to the community. For this onion, it is growing so well and I had such a high success rate that I feel really comfortable in giving away the remaining seeds that I have. I actually still have, I want to say close to 1,000 different seeds, give or take. So what I would like to do is, if you would like this species of onion, and if we can get it to work out, send me a message here on YouTube, and we will set up a way for you to send me a SACE, that is a self-addressed stamp envelope, and then I will send you a pack of, between 5 and 10 seeds. We can talk about that in the message. But this is just the first way to give back to the viewers, especially for sticking around for so long. The other thing that I have up here usually, which is right here, is the coffee plant, which I guess I can get. So the coffee plant and the pothos are both struggling from the same thing, which is because of their pot size, or how many plants are actually in the pot, they're not getting nearly enough water as they should be, and so the tops of the leaves are all new leaves, are really yellow, just not getting enough water, not getting enough nutrients. And then also I may have left this too close to the lights and it may have gotten a little burnt. So I will be transplanting here in just a few minutes. Alright, so moving on to the tiny indoor carnivorous plant terrarium that we started. If we go, we can see all these flower stalks. Now, none of these are actually viable. I did not cross-pollinate, I didn't pollinate at all. So they're just flower stalks at this point. And they're also all dead, so I need to clean those up. But they are doing extremely well. You can see the nice coloration on all the leaves, and also the amount of dew means that, number one, they're hungry. I haven't fed them in a while. But two, they're extremely healthy. And especially with sending out all of these flower stalks, that's a really good sign. Now over here, wait, let's start with these ones. For those that don't remember, this is the Drosera spatulata Lantau Island, which is a cross of the spatulata and O. blancus, or O. plantable. I'll have a link down in the description for exactly what this is. Moving over here, these guys they're not doing quite as well. However, this is a different species. This is actually a Drosera just spatulata. So it's like this one, but without that cross in it. So technically speaking, whenever these guys flower again, I could cross-pollinate and then collect the seeds, and I have no idea what that would be at that point. But it still has that red coloration and a lot of dew on the leaves. For those that are wondering about size, I would say that that is about the size of a little bit bigger than a quarter, maybe close to a 50-cent piece, if anyone remembers those. And these ones are about the size of a quarter. And then the last one that I have growing right now, which I really need to go in and see if I can bring back, but this is the Drosera bermanii Pelagia Red. This should be a lot bigger, but because I've been neglecting to feed these guys, they really haven't grown too much. And then the moss comes in and kind of takes over, and so it could be doing a lot better right now. I've just been kind of neglecting it because of work and things like that. Okay, so now let me go over the plans that I have set out for the indoor garden this year. Here on the left side, I would like this to be the coffee section. I think I have 5 or 6 plants in my coffee pot, and so I will know once I actually separate them all out. But I would like to eventually, one day, have coffee that I could make from the plants that I have grown. And then if that works out, I can actually start more plants and then send them off to you guys. But that's a couple years down the road. Now over here, I haven't exactly decided what I'm gonna do. It's kind of viewer pick at this point. Same with this tray. I would like to eventually get the pothos into a hanging pot so that I could have it out in the living room or bedroom somewhere else that's going to provide better oxygen, and especially because pothos is pothos don't really require far too much light. They're extremely lenient with all of their growing. Here is the seed starter section. I think this will eventually turn into other plant areas, but for right now, starting seeds, heat mat, we talked about that. Now down here, on this next shelf, I would actually like to do one of two things. Number one is, let's see, zoom out a little bit, is I would like to have this be an experimental section. So half, I would like to have just carnivorous plants, different species of all kinds. I really want to get into more of the conservation of carnivorous plants. And so that's kind of what's propelling me to get back into it, is just the idea that, you know, they're kind of going out, and so it is up to people to kind of help preserve them and bring them back. Okay, so over here what I would really like to do is set up a mini aquaponics area. Now I know I mean aquaponics, so what I would like is for this bottom, eventually all this soil is going to be moved because I'm going to go through it. Let's get the tripod out of the way. I would like to use all the soil so that I can have the space, and then get a aquarium so that I can have like a fish or two to help feed everything that I'm going to be having on the aquaponics. I'm not entirely sure what plants I'm going to have. I still have a ton of research to see if it's something I can even do, but that sounds like a really cool idea, and especially because, you know, aquaponics and hydroponics is becoming a really big industry, it'd be nice to get into it as well and see what all the hubbub is about. Okay, and now we're back on the floor because it's time to transplant coffee. This is what we're left with. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 coffee plants if they all survive. The transplanting was a little bit rough. I didn't realize how root bound they were, and so getting them all apart was kind of hectic. But right now we have from tallest to smallest, and then there are seeds. Eventually these will be moving outside in the summer, get some natural light if they all survive, and hopefully they're all going to pull through and we'll figure out something when fall comes around. So that is that. Okay, last two things. As of the posting of this video, which should be mid-May, I'm recording this on May 12th, if you go to Home Depot, you should see something called Black Magic. They're having booths and a contest around the country giving out hydroponic kits. I know they said in the Seattle area alone they're giving out 3. So I'm in the running for that. Hopefully that'll turn out well. And then you get this little sample. Now the way this works is usually put 1 milliliter for... You put in a half a milliliter for every liter of water. So a gallon is 3.8 liters, and so you're pretty okay putting in just 1 milliliter. And as far as how much is in this, it is 1 fluid ounce, which is 29 milliliters. So honestly, this is going to last me for quite a while since I have such a small scale indoor growing space. Also, it's not something I'm going to water my plants with consistently. I just want to give them some nutrients every now and then. So we'll figure out how that little experiment goes, and you'll kind of see the development as time goes on. And then the last thing, just to kind of touch on, is, like I said, if you do want some of these seeds, feel free to let me know down in the comments below, or send me a message and we will work something out. Like I said, as long as you just send me a space, I can send you a pack of seeds. This isn't going to be forever. However, just for right now, let's say 2 weeks or so after posting this video, and then I'll kind of close that off. If you would like to see something for me to grow, like I said, I do have plenty of space still. Let me know down in the comments below, or send me a message. Okay, and with that, my battery's about to die, so I will see you, hopefully, next week. Take care.